The night my wife died, I slept on the living room floor, not because I couldn't reach the bed, but because I couldn't bear to lie in it without her. That was 2 years ago. My name is Daniel Alvarez. I'm 67 years old, retired early, and learning how to live in a house that still smells like someone who will never come back. Everyone told me grief had stages: denial, anger, bargaining, acceptance. No one warned me about the quiet, the kind of quiet that sits beside you at dinner, the kind that answers when you speak out loud by accident, the kind that makes a man forget why he walked into a room. Maria had handled everything: bills, appointments, birthdays, family connections. When cancer took her, it didn't just take my wife, it took my structure. I discovered within months that being retired and comfortable meant nothing when you didn't know how to manage life alone. My pension covered basics, barely. Medical bills from Maria's final year had drained most of our savings. Our 2 sons lived busy lives, one in Phoenix, one in Chicago. They loved me, I knew that, but love doesn't always translate into presence. So I learned to shrink my life. I stopped driving at night. I stopped going out to eat. I stopped fixing things that broke, including the back door. It had started sticking that winter. By spring, it barely closed. I shoved a chair against it at night, telling myself it was temporary. But temporary has a way of becoming permanent when no one's watching. That's when I met Harold. He appeared one afternoon while I was struggling with groceries. Tall, thin, gray beard, carrying a worn leather bag. Toolbox like it weighed nothing at all. "Door looks angry," he said, nodding toward the back of my house. I laughed, my first real laugh in months. "Feels that way, too." "Mind if I take a look?" he asked. I hesitated. You do at my age. But something about him felt steady. 15 minutes later, he'd fixed the hinge, sanded the frame, and made the door close like it hadn't in years. "What do I owe you?" I asked. He waved it off. "Cup of coffee if you've got one." We sat on my porch. He drank it black. Didn't ask questions, didn't rush. I learned he lived in his truck. Not homeless, he insisted, just between chapters. Harold used to be a building inspector, 30 years with the city, retired, divorced, estranged from his daughter. One bad investment and one bad year had cost him everything else. After that day, he started stopping by, sometimes to fix things, sometimes just to sit. I never paid him, I cooked instead. We didn't talk about grief much, but it hovered between us like shared language. Then, one evening in October, Harold knocked on my door long after dark. "Dan," he said quietly, "you need to listen." I knew from his face something was wrong. There are men watching this house. I laughed nervously. "Harold, I'm serious." He told me he'd overheard conversations at the storage lot where he parked his truck, men talking about vacant houses, elderly owners. Insurance claims, easy fires. My heart thudded. They mentioned your address. I didn't sleep that night. 2 days later, my neighbor's house burned down. Electrical fire, they said. That was enough. I contacted police, not with accusations, but with concern. Harold gave them license plate numbers, times, descriptions. He'd been watching longer than I knew. Turns out, a group was targeting older homeowners, staging fires, then buying properties cheap through shell companies. 3 weeks later, arrests were made. My house was spared, but Harold disappeared. I couldn't find him at the lot. His truck was gone. 2 months later, I got a call. Hospital. ICU. Hypothermia. Untreated pneumonia. I sat beside him, holding the same hands that fixed my door. "Guess I wasn't done yet," he murmured. "You're not done now either," I said. I meant it.
What followed surprised even me. I contacted my sons, lawyers, social workers, a retired inspectors association. People stepped forward. Harold moved into a small apartment 5 blocks from me. He fixed my door once, but he fixed much more than that. Today, we have breakfast every Sunday. He volunteers again, I laugh again, and I've learned something no grief counselor ever told me. Sometimes survival doesn't come from strength. Sometimes it comes from letting someone unexpected knock on your door.